What's going on, everybody? This is episode 4, mission 4 of the U.S. campaign. We unfortunately have lost the progress that I had made on this mission, so I have to re-record the mission, which also means that uh, I know what's coming and where it's coming from and what I have to deal with. There are a few variables that I think can change, so it might still surprise me. But as of recording this now, I've played practically the entire mission. So I've also experimented with a new editing style. Right now, I'm going to be trying to keep it very uh, crisp and outside of. I'm going to try to eliminate dead space where you guys are just watching me pathfind, which can make for good content, and I suppose it works well for ASMR purposes, but for my purposes, I am attempting to try to find a happy medium where it's not super boring. Now, I'm not going to read the briefing. Feel free to read through it if you like. Basically, we're out here. There is an entire Soviet battalion pushing in from the north. They'll be coming in waves. They have air support. I do not. I do have anti-air available to me, but I do not have any air support. So I will be trying to give tactical updates and get action shots. But for the majority of the beginning of this episode, it will largely be from a bird's eye view, watching my units move out, so you guys get an idea of how the situation develops as it does. Now, there are a couple key features I think to point out, whereas this is the first one, just past Strassenberg. It's the highest point in the entire map, I believe. Yeah. So this kind of allows me to dominate the middle section, and I could get eyes in every other area, I think, of the map by kind of pushing troops down from here if I control this area. Another key section are all the villages. We don't know what the Soviets' objectives are, but we we do know that we're just here to stop them from achieving whatever it is they're trying to do out here. So while it's not the most helpful mission briefing, we are basically coming in to try to search and destroy the enemy. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up a bunch of defensive blocking positions where I can get my troops and toes into positions where I am able to defend much easier and attrit the enemy forces as they come in. Um, I have two platoons of tanks plus some spares. I believe I get, or there, yeah, first platoon here, and then we got, let's see, this is third platoon of tanks, and then I get two more, I think, just from the leftovers of our fighting in different areas. So we got a lot of M60s. I believe these M60s are from um, the second mission where we had gotten tanks to be involved in the defense of that other village. I forget. It was the first blocking mission. So we're gonna try to keep things short and sweet as opposed to this really long opening. The idea is to get set up in Elm, hold this position, prevent Soviet forces from getting in. Then it's to take Drassenberg, control the center, and then eventually push into Gomfritz. If I have to, I'll roll up the flank, but we're going to block here, we're going to block here, and we're going to set up a infantry ambush situation over here. So if the tanks come rolling through, we'll have plenty of anti-tank weapons to deal with them. This one's going to be the most tricky. There's this giant hill that dominates the area, so they have lots of observation they could set up over here. I'm going to try to do my best to get set up in here. I might use a platoon to occupy this objective and try to probe the hill. If we can take control of that, we can win, and I have to do all of this while under the guns of enemy Soviet air. So we'll see how this goes. I'll catch you guys in the first update. Alright, we got first update coming at you. We are moving pretty well through the left flank. It took us a few minutes, but we're now moving our platoons up the left. We have first platoon of A Company going in for the center, and then we got second platoon of A Company moving for the blocking positions in front of the village over there. We also managed to score an anti-air kill. Well, it's just an aircraft kill. He comes flying right over and immediately hits the ground right in front of us. So that's one enemy target dealt with. One less aircraft we have to worry about throughout the duration of this mission. And we are slowly struggle busting our way over the bridge, but with any luck we'll be out of the way here pretty soon. Right flank has largely been mostly successful. Push as well. We're moving out our infantry platoons. Second platoon of B Company is going to be occupying the mountainside to the right of Elm. I'm going to be getting them in there, and they're going to just start probing the hill, seeing what they can see, and potentially getting set up with their anti-aircraft weapons or anti-tank weapons and whatnot. We're getting ready to push our second platoon, or this first platoon of B Company. They're going directly into Elm. We'll be setting up in there. Oh, okay, that's just the aircraft we shot down. Currently paused. Our anti-air on this side is lagging a little bit. I'm working on trying to fix that with some red eyes being positioned in front, but that might come out to bite me here shortly. We'll find out. So no action updates outside of the downed aircraft so far. We are doing pretty good. Okay, this is the next strategic update. We've successfully reached the left flank. We're dismounting our infantry and repositioning our anti-air assets. Our tanks are in position, our M113s are in position. We haven't seen anything else from the air yet. Still moving a couple more assets in. Our tanks are navigating the bridge. Just as long as they get there. Oh. Okay. We seem to be doing great. Aircraft haven't hit us yet. We have gotten our final middle piece anti-air weapon to show up into position, so he's ready to go to cover our middle. Doesn't mean he'll kill, but he's ready to go. On the right flank, we are positioning we're finally moving out the platoon that was in a holding pattern. What is this? First platoon is moving out. Our toes are still paused. I gotta get them moving again. And we've made our first enemy armor spots, so we have to try to get ready to resist those guys. We do have our tow teams getting into their positions to be ready to repulse, and my tanks are still making their way to their positions, which is going to be somewhere in this tree line over here. I'm going to mass my my armor and get this side-on attack. That way when the enemy comes out, they don't front on all of us. So if they come out one at a time, we will hopefully have enough tanks looking in that direction to be able to make the spot and get the kill. I'm also planning on preemptively barraging this hill before our infantry has to get out, as well as hitting this area with some harassing fire as well with artillery guns and mortars. So we'll see how that plays out. We are going to need to set up a ambush in Drassenberg. I'm expecting them to try to take this position. And yeah, left side we're still chilling, so we're in a holding pattern there. So far so good.
Roger, fire mission request. Out. Over. Shot. Out.
Soviets appear to be doing a probing attack on my right using BMPs and armor. We are taking pot shots at them. So far we haven't scored a hit yet, although this turn might be different.
Flash. Over.
We are starting to call in artillery fire, but very light elements of a Soviet push. I'm assuming this is their force and recon group. We have successfully set up our tanks to be ready to shoot anything that crosses this area here, specifically. And I'm thinking one of them's going to take a shot here. Oh,
Shot. Out.
toe tried, missed. Oh, and there it is. First kill, first blood goes to us. Yeah, it's not a whole lot going on over here still. I think the Soviets are still prepping for an attack, but we have deployed our infantry on the right flank, and we'll be deploying the remainder over in this village, this part of the village over here. Just realized that kind of looked like a penis. Anyway, we'll be moving our tow launchers to the very back of the map. Once they get set up, they'll have fun just popping in and then reversing. I'm hoping they don't get trapped back here. There is a little bit of room to back up into, but ultimately if they get spotted, they're probably done. So we'll see how that turns out. They might not have such a great time. Yeah, but we'll figure that out. Center is all quiet. I am getting my troops have been deployed up on this hill. We're going to start probing the hill, see what we can see up here. And once the tanks are in position, this whole area will be, for the most part, locked down up on the cliffside. I'm still needing to kind of figure out how to guard further down. Like, we are cut off seeing this approach here, but I think my infantry might be good enough force to deal with that, or I might just push some tanks further down the line. We'll see how that goes. I'll just go play it by ear. Left flank is super quiet. I've just got all my anti-air assets deployed. Middle, super quiet. Anti-airs up here as well. Infantry are spreading out into the woods since they are artillering Drassenberg itself. I'm planning on getting some scouts to check out Gomfritz. I think that's going to be my next action. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, that's all I have for you for this turn.
Enemy armor sighted.
Enemy armor managed to make the spot and get the shot off first on one of our M48s on the left of Elm. I do not know how they managed to spot a tank that was within the woods way over here while on the move and through trees without one of these two tanks spotting them first, but such is the game of combat mission. So we are down one tank now on the left flank. Everything else has been proceeding as normal. We've got all of our infantry deployed in the middle. Tanks are getting into ambush positions for any armor that might make their appearance. Error is up, and now our TOS are getting into position now as well. So we'll see how that goes. Stay tuned for the next turn.
Shot. Over. Shot. Out.
armor sighted.
Flash. Over. Flash out.
This is strategic update after 15 minutes. So far, the enemy has made moves on the far right flank. There are sound contacts in the middle flank, and not a whole lot of movement has been spotted in the actual village of Gomfritz.
End of mission. Out.
We are awaiting the enemy to push towards Drassenberg, as we are pretty sure that is one of the objectives they're needing to hold. We are probing the second largest hill or mountain in the near area so that we can establish some superiority over Elm without getting outflanked. Tanks are in position. The ambushes have been successful so far, but we haven't seen the main body yet, so we're just waiting on the Soviets to make their push and then react to it accordingly. We are dropping artillery preemptively on the far right, as that is where the probing happened, but we aren't sure yet if that's the direction they're going to be coming from or not. There are noise contacts west flank, tanks by the sound of it. Our forward observer team has picked up some noise contacts. They seem to be moving left to right. However, they could also be pushing in our direction. We do have plenty of Dragon AGTMs over here, but so far we haven't seen any actual armor roll into sight. We're waiting to see what happens, but I believe they're either occupying Gomfritz or they're going to be pushing towards the center. Alright, this is a strategic update going into the 20th minute. The enemy has pushed their BMPs, I'm assuming for a scouting position, up onto this ridge, which they paid for with a tank round. The left side seems to be experiencing lots of tank movement. I don't think they're staying. I think they're moving to push towards Drassenberg, and so we are doing our best to prepare for that by repositioning a tank onto the other flank. Might still not be enough. Right flank has got sound contacts, but we haven't seen anything yet. They are having to walk through our barrage. Middle has... The BMPs are tricky. We killed two. One just is going for a run and hasn't really been opposed, despite the fact he's driving out in the middle of the open. So even with the M60's better optics, they still can't seem to pick up targets that are right in front of them. A little frustrating. I don't know how they're not seeing this target, but whatever. Hopefully they'll get the shot by the end of the next turn. So we are still waiting for contacts on the right flank. We've pushed pretty far up on the hill. We're gonna try and clear it, and then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set up ambush positions to kind of cover that bridge, or any like route leading up here, because I think that'd be the best use of my infantry to try to lock down this hill and keep them from going around us through the middle. Everywhere else this really isn't a feasible direction to go, but they can make it either through here or over here, so I gotta pick a side, which I'm not certain of yet. We'll figure it out. Soviet armor advanced from the right flank of Dressenberg through the gap in the tree line. They pushed 4 tanks that we've seen. We're expecting there to be one more somewhere. We haven't seen it yet, but we've defeated all 4. I do apologize. I missed 2 kills, I think, but knocked out this tank, and the rest are burning. They spotted them last second. You can see that everybody was swiveling their guns, but we got the shot off first, which in every tank engagement, this usually determines who wins. In front of Elm on the right flank, we have many more sound contacts pushing potentially through the trees on the right, taking a similar ingress route that the scout formation took. We are still bombing this area lightly for a long duration of time. The idea is to be able to degrade or destroy anybody that comes through here, keep their heads down, hopefully knock out some optics so they're not able to see our tanks and toes in ambush, and then we'll just knock them out with rockets and rounds. Next couple minutes I'm expecting this flank to get a lot more hot. We'll see how that goes.
Enemy tank approaching. Contact. Enemy tank.
West fire mission out. Roger. Fire mission request. Out. End of mission. Out. Shot. Over. Flash. Shot. Out. Flash. Over. Flash. Out.
Look out. Enemy vehicle. Yeah. Good hit.
Flash. Over.
Good shot.
Flash. Out. Shot. Over.
With the current update, we've defeated the center push pretty handily. We took 1 allied tank loss. We lost 1 M60A3 that was hiding in the woods, wasn't able to get the first shot off. Didn't even actually make the spot until it was too late. The rest, right now, we are jousting BMPs with our 2 toes. So far, we've had more luck than they have in getting first shots off, but they might get lucky and get a rocket up to us and knock us out. But so far, we have been dismantling that push so far. The hill is kind of stagnated a little bit. I gotta cross that open, and I'm not taking any chances. So we might push right, set up over here, looking down, and then just kind of leave like a scout team or something to react to anything that's going on over here. The reason we're going to do that is because I can react with the center team, who I believe is just finished cleaning up a Soviet push. So if they need to, they can move down to these trees and take out any enemy troops that happen to push across and try to outflank us. So far we're doing pretty dang good. I still haven't heard or seen anything in Drassenberg on the far left flank. I think the infantry I have deployed over there can potentially occupy this village, but I am poking with my forward observer team just to kind of see what they can see over here. So that is it for this update. We are winning pretty handily right now. They haven't been able to do a whole lot against us. The artillery strike is still ongoing in the back line, and we'll be dropping more mortars somewhere around here pretty soon. Yeah, God save the Queen. The Soviet push into the left flank continues to slow down as the infantry dismount BMPs that have been blown to pieces by our tow rockets. However, the tow teams are still not done, despite the fact that BMPs keep approaching. They are paying for it.
Shot, over. Shot, out.
With their 2 tow launchers up in the hill, inside of the forest, doing their best to remain concealed and pick off targets of opportunity, it seems the Soviet push in this sector is doomed to fail.
Flash.
The center, meanwhile, seems to be dominated by smoking carcasses and wrecks of tanks that were attempting a push earlier. Never ended up making it across. We've taken 1 loss in the center
Shot,
and 1
over.
loss on the right. So far we haven't
Shot,
received
out.
any other casualties, which is a miracle. To the far right, we are dealing with enemy air, or far left rather, but they're not doing so hot, are they?
Flash.
Aircraft destroyed,
Flash.
and I believe the aircraft does impact somewhere over there. There she blows. Our forward observer team moves in closer to the village, even more dangerously than before, to suss out any extra targets that'll be in the village. The sound contacts haven't resulted in any appearances of enemy armor. I'm assuming that armor is here, smoking in ruin. I think that for the most part this flank is clear. I might put another round through that tank, have an order to just shoot 1 more tank round, and then I would declare the middle flank clear. And it's looking like left flank is also clear. So I think it's beginning to push towards the left is going to be our next big push, as we've pretty much secured the middle and left side of the battle space, with all of the action appearing to still be happening over here. We'll see how this develops. Soviet BMPs begin to make their final push to lay down infantry to assault the village. However, they're in for a rude awakening as I've pushed my armor up to attempt to stop this from happening.
Shot, out.
1 Soviet launcher seems to make the, or 1 Soviet BMP seems to make the spot. Can't seem to rotate fast enough as his buddy gets engulfed in flame.
Over.
He begins his push, and oh, maybe this is the one that gets through.
Over.
His buddy blows up. The only BMP currently still standing is this one, as tanks in the background are also getting subjected to my L-shaped ambush, with tanks being off to the far left,
Fire
taking
for
their
effect,
shots. Actually, don't know who saw or our M48 over here is getting his revenge for his buddy being spotted and taken out so quickly. Do not believe the tow launchers have
Roger.
spotted
Fire
anything
for
else. I gotta reposition the other one. One thing is for sure is that the enemy tanks are still coming. They still have more on the way, and new contacts have been spotted up in the top. So it looks like right seems to be what the position they are favoring. In the center, we're simply running across the field and executing the tank crews at this point. War crime maybe. They should have surrendered. And our goal really is to try to move across the field and kill anyone that we see and then take up position in these forests to kind of observe and help support the push into Gomfritz. Although Gomfritz seems empty. I haven't been able to determine that for sure, but we're starting left platoon's assault. We're pushing up our two M115s that have all the infantry in them. And they're going to dump out a bunch of infantry to occupy buildings and get launchers ready to go if we have to take some shots. Artillery has been redirected on top of these BMPs, but it's looking like they're going to be dead by the time it starts to land, so I might just cancel the mission. Infantry up here is in somewhat of a position to resist whatever the scant few forces they have up here. It's not been many.
Fire perfect. Over.
But once we get this area under control, I think we're going to set up for an ambush of any armor punching through this area here. Yeah, I'm not sure what this even was. Could have been an observer team. They're down now. So with that being the case, we're going to settle in, try to watch for multiple routes of ingress. I think I'm going to try to get some laws in this forest, and then I'll have a dragon sit up here and see how well that serves us. Got to get these M115s out of the way, out of the open. I also have our scouting locating M115. He's really just here to see if he can hear anything as it passes by and to kind of screen this area. So if that ends up being the case, I could redirect tanks from here, move south, or east rather, and deal with that. So far the infantry has had very, very few engagements. I've taken one casualty from a tank team that I pushed down here to reinforce. I actually don't know how he saw him. I think maybe this guy fired his law early. Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened. He fired the law, missed pretty terribly, and they saw him. I don't know how they even saw him.
Flash. Over.
Oh, yeah, it did a good old stop and then just gunned him down. He got by, I think, one of the remaining, dragon teams took him out.
Fire perfect. Over.
And then we got one more BMP, so I'm ready to make the push. But artillery's starting to drop. We still have a couple tanks in the center that are going to push. The right flank is still doing pretty good on AT weapons and infantry, so I am not super worried about it.
Fire perfect.
We've pretty much shut up this top push. I'm going to try to tow that last tank there with the corner tows, and that's really all I have that's brand new for you. I do believe we shot down another aircraft within the last couple turns. I didn't show it because I forgot to record it, but they are down and we're occupying more of the map, so we'll see. Infantry teams continue to push towards the middle to try to get a little more control over this hill. We ended up taking some infantry fire, and they managed to kill two of an advancing squad. However, they are locked down pretty quickly and ended up being finished off after they went to ground, cower from getting shot at, and they were quickly executed after that. Got some potential vehicles pushing into this area. I think I need to get my M113s to get ready to ambush. I'm going to pull this guy back. But this area might get very hot or stay pretty lukewarm. I don't really know what's about to happen. Soviet BMP pushing in to drop off the rest of his troops. The last surviving ends up taking a grenade right into the bottom of the vehicle, and then a second one in the side, which promptly sets it on fire and causes the infantry to dismount. They're very quickly executed with impunity. Some of them get away, but the driver's team ends up getting knocked out. We are retreating into artillery barrage, so I don't know if they'll get hit or if they'll just stay back there for a while. Enemy did lose a tank at the beginning of the turn. Round fired from our M48 made contact, knocked out the tank. The remainder of the enemy's tank force, armor force, is proceeding up the valley. We are going to try to attrit them with tow launches, but they haven't been spotted by our launchers yet, so they are meandering pretty calmly through the area. We'll see how that changes over time. We do also have a tank that has made its way into the center, unseen. I do have some Dragon ATGMs in the center, and hopefully they'll be able to knock it out, but hasn't been spotted by anybody yet. And our infantry teams are doing a pretty good job of making sure people don't get back up after they get shot. Score 1 for 3rd Squad's A-Team. Good job, Sander.
sighted. They're coming straight for us! Enemy vehicles ahead. He's on fire.
Row. West fire. Out.
Enemy vehicles ahead.
Take cover!
Watch out. Secure the flanks.
right as shit. God, we're surrounded!
Shot out.
Flash. Over. Flash. Out. Roger. Fire mission request. Out.